Okay guys, here we go. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make the Hylian Crest. These are obviously not the colors we're using. I just did different colors to figure out the different shapes of the different parts. So what I'm going to use is my color because it's gold, but I don't have gold. So I am going to use, hold on, let me pick out all these. I'm going to use the mango color from the Rainbow Loom website because I figure that looks pretty gold. But if you've got a lot of it, this clear orange might work. But I'm going to use mango, except for the little pieces. The little pieces I have between, so it kind of looks like they're not really connected, but they are. I just use clear bands. Obviously, I didn't make the whole thing. I just wanted to make sure I could get the shape right. So there'll be a wing here and another foot. So this is the Hylian Crest. And then I will have another video that I'm going to make the Hylian Crest that is on the Twilight Princess shield. Because I'm going to try to make a whole shield. So on that one it'll be the mango for the Triforce, and then the bird will be red. But this one it's going to be all mango, so all gold. So here we go. Let me get my stuff set up. This is going to take 2 looms, and I'm thinking maybe a pack. Maybe a pack and a half of the mango. I don't think it'll take much more than that. I was going to try to somehow make it 3D, like the Triforce itself. So I made like a smaller triangle, and I was going to try to make it so it stood up a little bit, but I couldn't get the perfect triangle shape that would actually be smaller. Like, this is the same exact thing, just with doubled bands instead of 2 bands, but it's not small enough to make that much of a difference. So it's going to be just flat. I'm also going to connect this piece to here probably, but we'll see how it goes. So you need 2 looms. Try to get the dog hair off of this thing. So here's our 2 looms. I try to make everything 1 or 2 looms, that way more people can do it, because not a lot of people have 3 looms. I have 3, but not everybody does. So I try to do things with 2 looms, because I figure people that are working on advanced projects like this probably have 2 looms. One thing that is important is we are going to do the Triforce first, and then we're going to do the wings, and then the body. Because I didn't realize I needed to make what order I needed to make them in. I just started making the pieces, trying to find the shapes I needed. So we're going to do Triforce first, then the wings, then the body. So here we go. First we're going to make a triangle, obviously. You should know how to do basic looming. This one's definitely not as complicated as my dragons, so this shouldn't be too hard. So you're going to need a hook. I use my metal Rainbow Loom hook, and then I have just a crochet hook to help me pull things off the loom. But other than that, I don't think I even used my little hook. I must have. Where did it go? Huh. I don't know. Is that under here? No. I must have dropped it. Huh. Oh well. Hopefully I don't need it. I don't don't see it anywhere. Okay, well, hopefully it'll turn up, because I really like that hook. So, first things first, we're going to make our first triangle. So we're going to make one, then we're going to make the next one and connect the first one to it, and then we're going to make the third one and connect those two triangles to it to make our Triforce. So, first things first, so we're going to start on the middle, well, middle-ish. So we go down, then we go an angle, and then an angle. I might have to take my band-aid off. It's kind of in the way. Then down. Hold on. I busted my cuticle open at work yesterday, and then of course, once you hurt your finger, you're constantly bumping it. Okay, so then an angle. And this pattern's very symmetrical, so try to lay things out in the same order on both sides. So, we did down, over, over, down, over, down. And then we're going to go down on each of these four. I'm so glad I got this new phone. I just switched to T-Mobile and I get better service, and I went ahead and got the 64 gigabyte iPhone, so I wouldn't have it telling me constantly that my storage was full. Okay, so then we go to angles out on both ends, and then we're going to go down on the middle four again. 4. Whoop. Okay, now this has to be closed on the bottom, so we're going to start at this side. Whoop. Don't want those to get tangled up. Okay, start at this side and work our way over to this side. Okay, and then I'm going to cap this guy off. Go ahead and move that. So 1, 2, 3 times around. Now we got to put our horizontals. And we want this to be a triangle, so we need it to be tighter at the top than it is at the bottom. So we're going to go over these 3, and then over these 3. So the middle 2 are going to overlap. And then this one, we're going to go across all 4. We're doing 2 bands at a time. Actually, this has all been 2 bands at a time. I forgot to say that. So 2 bands over these 3, 2 bands over these 3, and then 2 bands over all 4. So it's a little bit tighter. And then 1 band doubled on these guys. And these mangoes are like kind of like a jelly band, but not quite. So they're not as slippery, but they kind of act like a jelly band. So I don't know. I hope this doesn't affect the way it turns out. We'll see when we pull this guy off. And obviously if you use metallic bands, they're going to act different than other bands too. So we're going to do our steps just like we always do in mine. Over, up, over, up, over, up, over, up. But we're going to switch it up on this one. So I went over and then up. And then go down in there. Over, up, over, up, over, up, and then this time instead of going over and up this way, we're going to go over and then do the angle first, because on this one we did the angle first. And we want it to be symmetrical. So over, and instead of going up here, we're going to go up over this way. Whoops, and it pulled the whole thing off, but that's okay. So the angle first, and then the straight one. That way, see, this angled one is under the top two, and then this angle is under the top two. Okay, now we can go up all four. You gotta watch out on these because they have two sets of bands on them as their horizontals. I think I'm finally getting rid of my cold. Okay, now on these we're gonna do which ones are we gonna do? We'll do angles first. So I'll go in and do angle, angle, then up, up. That way still the angle is underneath the top two. And then we're going to do the straight one, and then the angled one. And it gets really tight. Now this, I am just going to tie it off. Right. Wait. I'm gonna tie it off with a random band. I'll grab this black one. I happen to have a black one sitting here. So we're gonna tie it off with a black one. And you wanna make sure you don't pull it too tight, or we won't be able to get it off later. Now, this is where I use my other crochet hook and I pull it up. And we get to see if this still turns into a perfect triangle. It looks pretty good. You kind of gotta pull on your cat band to make it so it's wants to lay flat. There we go. Our first triangle. Our first force and our triforce. So there's one. Now the next one we're going to lay it out the same way, but instead of putting a cat band, we're going to attach this end loop where these two come together. So we're going to attach that as our cat band. So go ahead and lay it out again. Try to do it the exact same way so it's all symmetrical. I did the angles first. Then went down. And then down on those four. And then the angles first. And then down on the middle four. Whoop, dropped it. Okay, and then we gotta close it off on the bottom. Wrong color in there. Okay, and then I'm not going to put a cat band here. First we're going to do our horizontals, so make sure that row is in there. Okay, so 3 and 3. And I always push them down as I do it. And then all 4. And then a doubled. Okay, now we're going to attach this triangle to the corner over here. So you have 4 bands here, 4 little bands, which is actually 2 loops. We're going to open that up. You can use your fingers and put that where a cap band would be. And now we're going to loom the same way. You're going to do your steps over, up. If you pull on your little triangle, you can see. So over, and then up, and then all wants to get tangled up, over, and then up straight. Make sure you're getting the top too. It gets kind of tough to see. Over, up, over, up, and then the final one is over, and then we're up on the angle, and then up straight. And then we're going to go up on all 4 of these guys. And just make sure you don't grab your horizontals. And then this one we're going to do the angles first. And then the middle 2. Same as we did before. Push it down a little bit, and then we're going to do the straight one and then the angled. And you just got to make sure you don't grab the loops on this because it's at an angle. It's kind of hard to see. And then the same thing, we're going to grab a black one to tie it off, or whatever color, and then you want to pull it tight, but not so tight you won't be able to get it off. Because we're going to be pulling it off in a second. And then we pull off our second triangle. And then there, you can flatten it out, wiggle it around. So there is the bottom 2. And then see that one acted as your cap band and it connected them. So now we're going to do one more triangle laid out the same way, and we're going to attach these to the bottom corners of it. So it'll end up being the Triforce. So here we go. Lay out your triangle exactly the same way. I could just let you do it, but I might as well just do it because I've got to do it anyway. Angle, angle. See, we're on our 3rd triangle and I'm still on my first handful of bands, so I think we're gonna be good. I don't think it should be too big of a band hog, this project. 1, 2. And as always, bleh, I can't talk today. If I'm going too fast for you, you can always pause and catch up. Pause and do what you need to do and then catch up. I know when I'm watching videos, I'm constantly pausing. I have so many screen caps from videos I've done, so I can go back and do it without having to watch the whole video over. So if you need to pause it and look at my layout, go ahead. I find that easier anyway. Okay, so there's that, and then we're going to close off the bottom. There's my second little handful here. And I'm just going in the same direction I always go in. I tend to cap off on the left side. I don't know why. Okay, but we're not capping this one because the point of this triangle is going to be the cap band. So we need to do our horizontal bands, same as always, 2 bands over 3, 2 bands over these 3, and I kind of push them down a little bit. Whoop. There's a little weird piece of rubber. Into the trash bag you go. 2 bands over all 4, and 1 band doubled over those 2. Now, this is where I would use my little hook. Where did I put it? Am I sitting on it? Did it fall? Maybe I took it downstairs. I don't know. Whatever. Did it fall that way? No. My dogs are crazy jealous. I wonder if they ran away with my hook. Oh well, whatever. We'll just have to use this one. Makes me very sad. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab all these bands. So you're going to try to go in and get them all. And see, when I pull, I missed one. So go back in. Try to get that guy. And when you pull on it, hard to do with these bands, you can see your whole tie-off band. Woo. So you know you got all the bands. I am also trying to keep this so it's always face up. So my cap band is on the left still. That way I don't get ones that are, I think these look a little different on the back than they do on the front. So okay, so this is going to be my cap band on this one. So just stretch it out and get it off your hook. And then I'm going to turn my loom around so it's a little easier for me and try to grab all those guys. And did I get them all? Yes. Maybe that one. Which way is going to be easiest? None. Okay, so stretch it out, put it on. Ugh, I missed this peg. There we go. Ugh. There. Now, this is going to get in your way, but it'll turn out great. Okay. Now, we can loom, and you're going to loom the same way you did before. It's going to be a little harder to see on this bottom row. So you're still going to go in through your cap band, which is this point here. And if you look sideways on your loom, you can see which 2 are the top 2. And you're going to pull them up. You're going to go over. And then you're going to go up. And then if you kind of pull up on your triangle, and you can look under so you can see over and up. I know it's hard for you to see, but it's hard for me to see too. So, okay, over and up. But just do whatever works for you so you can see which ones are the ones that are on top. So over and up. And this one, same thing. Over. But this time we're doing the angle up first. So you want the bottom 2 over. Oop, oop, oop. Missed. And then these guys up. Whew. So that's the hardest part of that. Actually, that's probably the hardest part of this thing so far. Or the hardest part of the thing that I did. was trying to connect those. So now we can just do the rest. So these 4 go up. Again, just watch your horizontal bands. I smell burgers. And then we do our angles. You might be able to see me in this video, just because I'm tired. And then the ones that are up. And then the straight one. And the angled one. Okay. And then what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to take a mango. I'm going to double it. Whoops. Maybe I'm going to double it. And I'm going to tie it off with that. So get it on your finger. Hook it. Pull it in. And stick your hook through there. And just like you tie off a slip knot, you can tie this off, but it's going to be more difficult because it's a doubled band. So grab those 2 and pull it through. Now don't pull it too tight or it'll break. So I kind of just leave it on my finger, use my hook to pull this all off. The corner ones might be hard to pull off because of all the bands on there, but it seemed to come off good. Make sure that's not gonna untie itself. If it looks like it's gonna untie itself, you can just use a different color to tie it off. Like I said, these kind of are jelly-like, so jellies tend to slip. But it looks like it's gonna stay. If I pull up on these a little bit. Now, if you wanted to just make a Triforce, there you go. You've got it. And then we can take these off. See, this is where my other hook would be good, and I don't know. That is going to drive me crazy, not knowing where that hook is. So there. There is our Triforce, and you kind of push at it and wiggle it around and it'll flatten itself out. Put that back on there. So there we go, a nice Triforce. And it looks like it's going to stay. So I guess as long as you don't play with that too much, it'll stay. So there we go. Now, what I'm going to do real quick is I am going to pull clear bands through this cap band and through these loops over here, because that's how we are going to attach the wings to the Triforce. So go ahead and grab your clear wherever I put those. Right now we're just going to need 4, 2, and 2. So I'm going to stick my hook through the cap band, grab 2 of these guys, and grab them. Okay, dinner's ready. Grab it through, and you don't have to tie it off or anything, just let it sit there, get your hook out, and they should stay. So there's one. Then we're going to go through these loops here and do the same thing. I figure if I don't do it now, I might forget. So there we go. So there's 2 loops here and 2 loops here. So I will be right back after I finish my dinner, and we will continue with the wings. we'll do the wings next. Here we go. Now we are going to work on the wings. Obviously you need 2 wings, so we're gonna do that next. Yeah, okay. So you should have this guy done, and he should have 2 clear bands pulled through the cap band and 2 clear bands pulled through, ow, my loom just fell on my leg, through these bands here. And those we are going to use to attach the Triforce to the wings. So put that off to the side. The wings, the nice thing about this is we can set up everything on the wings on one loom, or on our 2 looms. So we can set it up all at once, is what I'm trying to say, if I could say it. Okay. So, you're going to need a bunch of your mango or gold or whatever color you're using. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I should have opened this already. C-clips go in my pile of C-clips. Okay. So, got a nice big pile. Okay, so we're going to do, there are four feathers, or whatever you want to call them. This one's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. That's how I've got them numbered. So we're going to do, on our 2 looms, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So number 1 is the longest. The best way I found to do this, so we wouldn't have to extend later, is we're going to put 2 bands on this peg and 2 bands on this peg, just loose. Then we're going to do our setup. So it's going to be 2 and 2, and then 4 sets of 3, so 3 bands this time. These are 2 bands that are loose, 2 bands, 2 bands, and then this is going to be 3 bands, 3 bands, and 3 bands. And same thing on this one. 2, so it's going to have the 2 loose ones, 2, 2, 3 bands, 3 bands, and 3 bands. Okay. Then we're going to do our horizontals, which the bottom ones are actually to close off the end. So 2 bands across the bottom 2 pegs. And then 2 bands here, 2 bands, and then, wait, what? I didn't do enough. Again, I did the same thing before. This is only 3 sets of 3. I need 1 more set of 3 on each of these. So 1, 2, and then 2 horizontal bands, and then this one is the 2 that are closing the end. So it is, since I messed that up, 2 loose bands, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, and then 2 closing bands, 2 horizontals, 2 horizontals, 2 horizontals, and then a doubled here, double band here, and then a double band across these top 2. And then we are going to cap this peg. 2, 3 times around. Now, on this row, we're going to do the same thing, just without the 2 loose bands. So it's going to be 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and 3. Same thing. 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and the last one is 3. So then we're going to do the same thing. 2 to close it off. 2 horizontal. 2 horizontal. 2 horizontal, and then doubled band and a doubled band. This one we're not putting one here because we don't have those extra 2 bands, so this one's the end. Now, so that's 1, 2. Now number 3 is going down here, so it's going to be there's going to be a space between. So these pegs. So we're going to go 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. The same thing here. 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Okay. Then we need 2 to close it off. Oh, we're going to put a cat band here. I forgot. Just close it off. And then 2 and 2. And then a doubled here. And a doubled here. I'm really disappointed. I still can't find my little crochet hook. I don't know where I put it. I don't understand. I mean, where else would I have gone with it? Who knows? Okay, so that's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 is going over here, and it's the shortest. So we are going to go up 2, 3, 4, 5 pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 2. So we're skipping 2 on this one. 2, 3, and 3. And same thing. 2, 2, 3, and 3. And then 2 to close it off. Whoops. 2 for the first horizontal and doubled band. Whoops, ow. Doubled. And doubled. Now we've got to put a cap band here, a cap band here, and a cap band here, because I forgot. So 3 times around. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Whoops, missed 2, 3. Oops, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now before we loom these, we're gonna go ahead and make the arm part of it, like this long part. And that's gonna go all the way from the top to the bottom. So we're gonna do, to get the to make it start skinny and get wider, it's gonna start with doubled bands, then 2 bands, then 3 bands, then it's gonna end with 4 bands. So we're gonna do doubled, 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 and then 2, 2, and 2, and then 3. Whoops, one came off. 3 and 3, and then the end ones are going to be 4, 4, and 4 on the last one. And then we're going to cap off the end. So 1, 2, 3 times around. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and loom these guys, and we're just going to pull them off and have them on our hook, because that's how we're going to put them on this long arm. So I'm going to go ahead and loom them. We're going to do, for the bottom, we're going to do the step. We're going to go over and up. So through the cap band, over, and then up. We're just going to go ahead and go up. Make sure you get all your bands, because some of them are 3 and some of them are 2. We're not going to loom these last loose bands yet. We'll wait until we're going to pull it off the loom for that. So 3, 3. Oops. Okay, and then again we're going to leave those loose too. Then this one, same thing, over and then up. And just go up to the end on this one. And that's how you get it to be tapered towards the middle, and then it gets bigger as it goes out. That's why we did 3 on part of them and then 2 on some of them. And then we did doubled bands and just 2 bands on other ones. That's how you get that flared effect. Whoop, my loom wants to come apart. Okay. Make sure your loom doesn't come apart. And then these last guys, same thing, over and then up. And don't knock over your tripod. I can't believe, I guess I didn't really look, but I can't believe there aren't any other people that did Zelda things. I've seen a Master Sword, but it's like a little keychain. Okay, same thing, over and then up. Oh, come on. Go around that corner. and then I will tell you where we're connecting the Triforce. When we put these on, I'll tell you where the Triforce is going to go. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna, oops, make a mess. That's where my hook went. Nope. Okay, so we're gonna use this hook to pull all these off, but we want to pull them off in order. So this one's 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna do this one last. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter as long as you put them on there in the right order. So see how it's skinnier towards the hook? That's where it's going to attach to the thing, the big long thing. I'm going to grab this one. It should come off pretty easily. And we can arrange them to make them flat once we get them on here. And then this one. Okay. And then this guy, we have to loom these last ends. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them up through. And then I'm going to hold that with my finger to get it. Move these guys down. Hold that with my finger so I can get the hook in there. And then I'm going to loom this one. Go ahead and watch whatever you want. Sorry about that. Hold it with my finger and get the last one on there. There we go. So, here's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. See how they're big, medium, small, and extra small. So, what we're going to do, so we can get to these, is I'm going to pull this row out. We'll just switch it over here for right now. Because we got to be able to get our Triforce in here. So, the biggest part is on the smallest part of the arm. So this is the small part because it's doubled. So it's going to go, we're going to skip the first peg, we're going to go on these 2 pegs, right? Yeah, so these 2, the second and third peg. So we're going to go 1, pull the hook out, and 2. So there's that guy. And then we're going to skip a peg and do these 2. And this one. You just got to make sure you get all the bands on there. So there's those guys. Skip a peg and do your next 2. Move these down a little bit. Okay. Skip the peg. 1 there. And 1 there. Okay. Then we're going to skip this one and do these 2 for the little itty bitty one. Okay, so there are the 4 feathers of the wing. Now we have to connect our Triforce. I did it between these 2 on here, and I think it actually needs to go down 1. So it is going to actually be on the same peg as this one, but what we're going to do is we're going to pick up these top 2 and just put it off to the side for right now. And the pegs will hold it. Now we're going to put, where did it go? Let's see. They look pretty much the same. Just pick whichever side looks better. I think this side looks better. So this is going to be the top. So I'm going to use these two clear loops. Gonna get them on my hook, and we're gonna put them on this peg. Like that. Pull that off to the side, and then we're gonna put these two bands back on there. There. I think that'll work great. So, now, whoops, I put the wrong hook down. Now, we can go ahead and loom this all the way up to the top. Right. Yes. So you're going to go under your cap band. And remember, these first three are going to have 4 bands. So 4 bands, 4 bands, 4 bands. So you got to make sure you get all those bands. And then when you get to these, you got to go down through all the bands that are connected in this guy. Again, if you look to the side of your loom, you can see which ones are the bottom. Okay, now we're moving to the 3s. And same thing, you got to make sure you get all the way to the bottom. And then this one, you've got those extra clear bands on there too you got to watch out for. 3. Now I think we're to the 2s. And then this is where you get to the doubled bands, so you got to be careful that they don't break. If they break, you're going to have to undo it and fix it, because there won't be anything to save you. If these other guys break, there'll be extra bands to save the project. So if these guys break, go back and fix it. Now what we're going to do to tie this off is we are going to grab a clear band. Clear band, double it, and we're going to pull it through and tie it off. So you got to kind of watch out because it's hard to see, and I can't really show you because it's so hard to see. But you want to grab those two and just do a slip knot. And you want to pull it, but not too tight because it'll just break. And then I'm going to start pulling off with my hook. When you get to the bands that have lots of bands, you're going to have to help it either with your fingers or with another hook. Okay. Pull that out a little bit, make sure it's going to stay. And it is. So, there is the arm and the Triforce. And then you can flatten these by like pushing with your fingers and pull on the little guys to make it flat. And then once we get the body attached, it'll curve better. That definitely looks better. Okay, so now you've got to go back and do the exact same thing for that other wing. And then when you get to the point where you're attaching your Triforce, you want to attach it to the same thing. You want to... What I'll do is I will come back and show you how we're going to attach this. But I'm going to go ahead and do my wing feathers and the arm, and then I'll come back. So go ahead and do this wing and set up your next wing. Go ahead and do your feathers and your arm and put the feathers on the arm and come back. Oh, shoot. So, here we go. I've got my 4 feathers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I've got the arm ready, so it's doubled, 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 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. and then it's capped off. So the other one, we moved that one to this end and put the feathers onto this way. This one, I moved it over here because I want it to be symmetrical. So instead of feeding off the flat end of my hook, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to feed it off at this end. So the curls go up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the little end this time. So it's going to be the second and third peg from the bottom. Hold on. I feel like I'm going to make a big mess. Move this over. Okay. I don't know if I can do it with my left hand. Oh, here's what we'll do. We'll turn it around. Then it won't be. Okay, we can just turn it around and start with the big ones at the top. Because the biggest ones, the biggest feathers, go on the smallest part of the arm. So, there we go. We're going to do it this way. So it's on second and third peg. That way, they're curling up. So, third, pull it out, and second, pull it out. Then we skip one, and the next one goes on these two. So it goes here, yeah, and here. And then number 3, you skip a peg, go on these two. Which is this one and this one. And then the little tiny one goes, you skip a peg and you go on these two. There we go, that was much easier. And then the last ones go on there. Okay. So, now we have to attach our Triforce, but obviously it's going to go this way now. And it is going to go on here. The top of number 3. See? 1, 2, 3, and it's on the top peg of that one. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, top peg. So we're going to take off the top 2 bands. I guess we'll go this way. And we're just going to hold those. We're going to go through these clear loops we put in. And we're going to put those on there. And now we can put these guys back. There we go. Now we can turn this back around so it's up and down. And loom up to the top. And you just gotta go under your cap band and grab 4, because there's 4. And then kind of hold your cap band down. Then you gotta go under all these bands and get the bottom 4. And I missed. And all these bands and get the bottom 4. And then we get to 3s, and they're much easier. Under all the way. And then on this one you gotta go under all these bands and those clear bands to get the bottom 3. And then we get to the 2s. And then you get to the doubled bands, so you gotta be careful. You can't let those break. Oh, there's one more 2. Oh, no, there's not. Go all the way down. And then we go. Now we're going to grab another clear band, double it, and we're going to tie this off with a slip knot and a double band. And if you still have it on your finger, you can grab that and kind of turn your hook and pull it through. And I'm going to put my finger in it and pull these guys off with my other hook. You really got to help this peg because it's got the clear bands from the Triforce and the wing, and the feathers. There we go. Make sure that's not going to undo itself. And there we go. Now you can flatten these guys out by pushing on the back, and it should slowly flatten itself out. So there we go. We've got the wings and the Triforce. And then next will be the body. So we're gonna do the body and the feet. We're gonna do the feet first and then the body. Yeah. So put this guy off to the side. Grab your bands again. Just move them closer so I don't have to reach as far. Grab your loom. And this is going to look kind of funny when it's on your loom, but when you pull it off, it gives you the perfect little foot shape. But it's going to look really strange and square. So we're going to start, but at least it looks like we can do both feet on one loom, or on one setup. So you're going to go to the fourth peg, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 bands. Three bands, and 3 bands. And then we're going to go to this way, 2 bands this way, 2 bands this way. The rest are 2 bands, 2 and 2. Then we're going to go down 1 on this side. Then we're going to connect these two pegs, this one and this one. So you go at an angle, and then you go down 1 more. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to go down 1. And we're going to do this angle. So there's going to be a lot of bands on this peg when we're done. And then we're going to go down 1 more. Now we have to cap both of these off. Whoop. This guy needs moved out of my way. Okay, now I dropped this. So 1, 2, 3 times around. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3. I put my finger on it and let go so it doesn't go shooting. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and do my other leg on this side. So I'm going to go, we can just go from the 4th peg, or 4th row. So you can just go next to the little cat band. And we're going to, whoops, this is 3. 3. 3. And 3. That just gives him a little bit thicker of a leg. And then we're going to do the same setup. We're going to go over to the right, 1 to the left. Oh, these are 2 bands again. Another to the left, another to the left. I suppose I should have done this the other way around. Whatever. Meh, it's fine. Do I want to change it? I'm going to change it. So, take these guys off. Take your cross ones off. What we're going to do is we're going to move these over here. 1, 2, 3. Now, we can do what we were doing before. 1 to the left, and 3 to the right. 1, 2, and these are 2 bands. 3. And they each go down 1 on the ends. Then they get their diagonal and a diagonal. And 1 more down. And 1 more down. And then we're going to cap off both of these again. 1, 2, 3 times around. 1, 2, 3 times around. Okay, now to show you how to loom these. It's a little odd since there's the angles. Where'd my hook go? Okay, I'm going to do this one first. We will go through the cap band and go to the bottom, go up, then we're going to go over an angle, make sure you get the top 2, then go up, and then we're going to do the ones that go over, and we're going to stop at this peg. So 1, go all the way down to the bottom, 2, and 3. And we're going to stop there. Then we go through this cap band, up, and then at an angle, and then up, and then we've got to grab this one here, and go over. And then you got to grab the bottom 3, because this is 3 bands here. So I kind of hold it out with my finger so I can tell which ones I'm pulling. And grab this bottom 3. And then go up to the end. There we go. And then there's 1 foot. And then we gotta do the same thing. Start with the long side. 1. Angle. Up. Over. Over, over, and then through this cap band, because you want to do it the same order you did before, so it's symmetrical. Then angle, up, over, and then you gotta go all the way down and get the bottom 3. I think I just got, ow, bit by a mosquito in my bedroom. That's just not cool. Okay. So, and then these, when do they get tied off? Tied off with 2 clear. And we're not actually tying them off. We're just going to pull the clear through. So you need 4 clear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. What we're going to do is we're going to go down and pull them through and put it up the hook on it, and then use that to pull it off. Pull it up a little bit on your hook. You might need to help the rest of the foot off because of those angles in the corners. So there's 1 foot. Looks cool. I think that works really well because it gives it just the right shape. And you can kind of fiddle with them to get the everything the way you want it. And then you're going to go through this one and pull the other two clear through that one and put it up on your hook and use that to pull it off again. I guess you can just use your fingers to pull that off. So there we go. Got both feet. Now, you take your hook out gently and don't mess with it too much. Those will stay. Because we need those to connect the feet to the body. So, there we go. We got a right foot and a left foot. So, put those so they're right foot and left foot, so you know which one's which. Now we gotta do his body. And we're gonna start with one of these triangles, because it's gonna be the same triangle. I may make my body one row longer. Yeah, I'm gonna add an extra row, so it'll be just one longer. And I think that'll look good. Okay. And we've got room on the loom. Yep. Okay. So, take your bands again. We're going to do the same setup we did with the triangles. So, third peg over, or third row over. Angle straight down, and then angle. Then angle. Angle. Down. Whoops. Don't want them to get tangled. And down. You should have done this 3 times, so this should not be new. And then we're going to go down on all 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to do angles on those outside ones. And angles on those outside ones. And then down on those middle 4. And then we have to close it off just like we would. But we're not done yet. So we're going to go over. Over there. And then we're going to cap this one off. So 1, 2, 3 times around. I'm going to go ahead and do my horizontals now while I'm thinking about it. So 2 bands across 3. And across the other 3. So the middle 2 share. And 2 bands across all 4. And then 1 band doubled across these 2. Okay. Now we have to do the body part. That's the head. And then the body. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go down 5 from the middle, the third one over. 1. I'll go ahead and push these down a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then same thing on these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we gotta make like it's a little bit wider, so we gotta add outside rows. And I went down this one, so we're gonna go down this one. An angle out. And this one, an angle out. Then it goes down 1, down 1, and then angle back in. back in. So you get this little shape here. Then we're going to go down one more on each of those. Need more bands. So this might take, we're almost done. I'd say this is about a pack and a half we've used. One more, and then we're going to make a little point. So down one more on that one, and an angle on this one. And make sure those don't tangle. Then we're going to cap this guy off. One, two, three. So this has 3 cap bands. No, 2 cap bands. One here and one here. Now, we've got to do our horizontals on the body. I am going to go doubled here, doubled here, and then 2 bands across all 4, 2 bands across all 4, and then doubled, doubled. Okay, now we're going to put the legs in these little corners here. So one leg on each one. So left leg goes on this one. And you can kind of pull it out to the side. Then the other leg goes on the other side. And again, you can pull it so they kind of, the little claws grab these pegs, so it pulls them off to the side so they're out of the way. Now, we have to attach these arms to the top of this head. So we need to put our hook through the cap band on this one, and we're going to grab 2 clear, so we need 4 clear. So 2 clear, go through here, and if you're gentle you can take your hook out and just leave them. And then we need to get our hook through these cap bands and grab 2 clear through there. Okay. Now, we are going to attach these to where the point comes out. So we're going to attach to these 2 pegs. This might be a little tough because we have the Triforce at the top. Ooh, we also get to figure out. No, we're not going to mess with this yet. But these guys have to go on here. And then these guys, gotta make sure it's not tangled up or anything. Get your hook through there again. And these are going on this peg. Hopefully you guys can see, because my loom wants to turn. And I grabbed all those bands. Ugh. Just turn it around. There we go. Okay. Now, what you can do is kind of pull this up so it's out over all those pegs. There we go. So, that'll hold it out of the way. So, that's that. That's that. I think we're ready to go. Okay, I'm gonna put down my hook. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, now we're gonna loom this. And you're gonna loom just like these guys are here. So, you Gonna start, go under the cap band and grab the top two, which are the angled ones. Then we're gonna grab these guys, and we are gonna go up to the point where this triangle crosses. So just go, oh no we're not, no. We're gonna go up to where the legs are. Up there. Then we've got to pull these angled bands. So you got to kind of look under. And go to the angle. And you'll know you got the right ones if you get the teardrop shape. Or raindrop or whatever. And we're going to go up there. And we're going to go over here. Now we're going to go up to where the triangle crosses. So you gotta go back in there and grab those bottom two. And go all the way up to the triangle. And then the next one, we're gonna go up to where the leg is again. And we're gonna go on, pull on the angle one. You gotta make sure you go under the horizontal. I can almost grab it. Ugh. I can't see. That doesn't help. Okay. Under the horizontal. And grab the top two. Ah, got it. And again, I know I got the right ones because I got the teardrop. And then we're going to go up and then back over. Now we can go up this one to where the triangle starts. I hope you could see what I was doing there. Makes some sort of sense. Okay. So, there's the body. Now we gotta do the head, and you're gonna start just like you did. Actually, you're gonna do the same thing you did with the Triforce triangles. You're just gonna act like these guys aren't here. So we're gonna do the steps over, up, over, up, over, up. So under your cap band, grab the top two and go over. Then you want to do your angle. Then the top two. Go over and then up. Top two. A little hard to see because of all those bands. Over. Up. Top two over, and then up, and then this one we're gonna go over, and we're gonna do the angle first. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Angle, and then the one that goes up, just so we keep it consistent. Then we're gonna go up these four. Make sure you don't get the horizontal bands. And we are almost done. Okay, now we're going to do the angle ones first. You got to go all the way down. Make sure you get the bottom two. Angle, angle, and then up the middle two. 1, 2, and then we're going to go straight up and then the angle. And then the angle. And see, it looks like this is going to be right next to it, but I almost guarantee there's going to be a big gap when we pull it off. So I'm going to take a clear, two clear, and we're going to pull this off onto two clear like we did for those other ones. So we're going to put the two on there, put the two on there, and leave it on the hook. And then use our other hook to pull this off. And you're going to have to help it with the corners because they've got the wings. There. Now it should come off better. Okay. Now we gotta release that guy or it'll break. Now, let's see what the new body looks like. Okay. Kinda looks like Big Bird. Okay, so there we go. That's what he looks like so far. Kind of does look like Big Bird. Oh well. So there's that. And then we are going to just extend this a little bit. I'd say 2 more. So I'm going to grab 4 more clear. And we're going to pull 2. Just making a double chain here. And then we're going to pull 2 again. And then this one we're going to tie it off. So we're going to take it and make a slip knot. But it looks pretty good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to tie this to the bottom of this. Whew. Oh. Okay. So we're going to stick our hook through here. We're going to go up through the bottom. And we're going to pull 1 loop. Yeah, 1 loop through. Sure, why not? 1 loop through. So we got 1 loop in and then 1 loop out, and we're just going to tie that in a knot. Which is really hard to do because the clear are jelly and they want to slip, and my fingers are sweaty. Okay. Now we can use our hook to grab the other one. And pull it tight. And then there we go. So there is our Hylian crest. Whoop. And I'm making a big mess. Let's put this over here a little bit. Try and pile it up. How did I lose the bottom? Who knows? Okay. So, there we go. That's what we got. Now, I'm going to make a Hylian shield. It's going to be the Twilight Princess Hylian shield. So what you're going to do is you are going to make the exact same thing, except your Triforce is going to be gold, and your bird parts, your wing, actually the body's going to be different, but so you're going to make the gold Triforce, and you're going to make your wings red, and your feet red. And then I'm going to change the body up. But, so you're going to go through and you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to change the colors. And then what I'm going to do afterward is I'm going to add silver to the edge of my Triforce. And I'm going to connect them different, because the Triforce on the shield is actually above the bird and it has its own little head. So if you're going to do the shield with me, go ahead and go back and do another Triforce gold, wings red, and feet red. So there we go. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you make it. Definitely a simple design compared to some of the other stuff I've done and some of the other stuff that that I've made and some of the other stuff that I've made from other people's tutorials, if that makes any sense. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be making more stuff. I still have to do my 2-loom TARDIS. 2-loom 3D TARDIS. So, hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.